Hello, everyone. My name is Akash Borse. I represent this organization, Faber Infinite. And I'm very, very glad to talk to all of you today as this part of this wonderful feature of iFaber, where we interview and talk to industry leaders. And today I'm very, very glad to have Mr. Mahul Shah from Spin Venture Group with all of us. Welcome, sir.
Hi, Akash. Good morning, and thanks for inviting me for this.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for sparing time. And it is my privilege and honor to introduce you to the audience. So we have audience all across the world. And if I were to talk about sir, words would be very, very, I would be short of words. So he is director of Spin Venture Group, where he looks after new business development, and he is a manufacturing engineering graduate from the UK. And when it comes to the background, he brings a long list of ventures that he has started and seen them through big heights. So when it comes to different ventures, one of the things that stands out is the venture or the project called as Tuzo Milk, which is one of the largest milk dairy company in Kenya. It's the second largest. I would definitely want to talk about that as we progress in this discussion. Along with that, he has been instrumental in setting up rose flower farms, horticulture called as Fontana Flowers, which has grown 12 times in 5 years, which is phenomenal in itself. He's also been instrumental in setting up new sugar mills that pans out right from having sugarcane plantation to sugar processing industry in Kenya, in Zambia. So today we have a multifaceted personality who has been looking into multiple countries and multiple businesses. Thank you so much for sparing time, Mr. Mahul Shah. It is a privilege and honor to have you for this particular feature.
Thank you.
Right. So as we progress into this discussion, that brings me to the first question, which is in front of me. Let me read that out. So as a leading group of Africa, can you tell us more about the Spin Venture Group and as well as the Mansa Sugar project that we are currently going to talk about?
Yeah, actually, Spin Ventures, started early, like early mid 60s, and we started our ventures in textiles, and then later on, as we found ourselves in the middle of the center for agro, we kind of ventured into agro and agro processing type of businesses. So hence the dairy came up, and then the flower farms came up. I mean, aside of the other interests that we have in property development, we have various companies in Zambia, Mansa Sugar, as you mentioned, but we have also plastics companies that operate in Zambia as well.
Right.
Now, basically, I don't know whether you want me to go into the full detail of all the different companies.
No, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
So dairy, I mean, my claim to fame, and I was a bit younger then, is the dairy company. We started off with a mini dairy company, and we grew it to becoming the second largest dairy company in the country. We have property development companies, and right now we've got a couple of large projects that are going on, which are quite popular within the local industry in Kenya.
Right.
Yeah, aside of that, of course, flowers has been a good one. I set up the first rose farms, first two, with a good manager, and then further, as I moved to other ventures, he's gone and set up 2 or 3 more farms now. So we are now, I think we might be one of the top 5 in terms of rose growing within the country.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think those are the kind of key ones.
Right. And currently, as we understand that you are associated with Mansa Sugar, you have been instrumental in setting that up in this difficult times or different times of COVID. What is your vision for Mansa Sugar?
Yeah, well, I mean, we started off setting up, we did a plant in Kenya that was only a process plant with outgrowers. So when we had operations in Zambia, so one of the idea was, why don't we do a similar kind of venture in Zambia? And the only difference being in Zambia is that we grow our own cane, and we have a nucleus estate in Zambia. Um, so that's a new area for us. We have a good team in the processing and of the sugar and manufacturing. We spent about we started in 2015. We spent 4 years acquiring the land, making sure we identified land, good land, which has got good water, were essential ingredients in doing that kind of search. And once we had that, then we needed all the engineering um, support and expertise that we already had from before, and we roped all of that skill into the project. And yeah, and in 2019 we actually commissioned the plant and started processing. So
Sure.
it's now it's about 3 years now that we have been processing sugar,
Right.
and we are now about 7% market share within the country.
Oh wow, super, super. Right, that's wonderful. So that brings me to the next part. Considering the current situation where there have been a lot of challenges, whether that is on the demand side or whether that's on the supply constraint. So how is Mansa coping up with all this dynamic situation?
Yeah, so I think rightfully so. It is a very tough environment today, but Mansa's journey has been not an easy one to start off right from the beginning. So with the Zambian economy in 2020, we had a 50% devaluation in the currency.
Right.
So having to grapple with that, and being a young business, it has some serious challenges with that kind of environment. Luckily, in 2021, a new regime came into power, and then the exchange rate went the other way around, and we were able, being a commodity, the control in price is very, very difficult on your sales realizations. So the whole industry as such took a turn, and we got some better realization. So we have now opportunities to really engage those macroeconomic situations, and obviously then take the company and set it up on a nice track for growth.
Right, of course. Wonderful,
The
sir.
difficulty is obviously like how you have mentioned now with the, if I take, that's 3 years now, the new environment with the Russia-Ukraine situation,
Yeah.
and the impact that has on inputs like fertilizer and various other commodities, and the general impact on inflation. Of course, those are bringing new challenges that we have to deal with as we kind of try and stabilize the business into getting on the right track.
Of course, of course, of course. So that is definitely one of the challenge what businesses are facing today. That brings me to the next part of this particular feature, where I have always known and understood that you yourself have keenly looked at culture building and looked at concepts like operational excellence. So, what is your thought process behind looking into such facets of driving any organization?
Look, uh, as you put it rightly, my focus has basically been garnering and getting the right team, and and all the members in the team have two things. One, they have to have talent and they have to have energy.
Right.
So those two components are very vital and key
Right.
for any project to kind of set itself up and get moving. Particularly in my case, where we have been dealing with quite sizable greenfield operations.
Right.
So for that, it's very important that I've been lucky, you can say, I've been applying myself to make sure that we get the best kind of skill set
Right.
and select. So we've been very lucky with the flower farms. We've been very lucky with the dairy, where we got some very good people and very energized and very passionate people who have really excelled those businesses and taken them to uh, a deserved place.
Right.
Um, on and no matter how good or passionate or energetic you might be, it is very important also that um, you have certain tools,
Uh-huh.
and I call them, like how you said, the excellence tools, which
Okay.
are there, and you have been part of that, and you have been supported a lot of our businesses with those kind of initiatives,
Right.
and those tools really help um, in bringing order and discipline into the way you manage the change in a greenfield operation,
Uh-huh.
and also to really keep control of your costs and various other diversions that happen during a development, an early stage of development in a greenfield operation.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that have been really very helpful. I mean, you're familiar with all the tools. I mean, your 5 essays, the PDC. I think I generally like the basics of
Uh-huh.
all those tools.
Right.
And I think the basics really have big impact for greenfield operations.
Sure, sure. So you have covered it well, you have summarized it well, where you're talking about the basics, the fundamentals. But at the same time, the takeaway for me here would be the skills and the energy is what is a fundamental ingredient, along with the tools, of course. So thank you so much for talking about that. That makes me slightly more selfish when we are talking about this thing. So you are being very modest when you call yourself being lucky. It is like, as they say, fortune favors the brave. So that is something I would say, along with the effort that you have taken up, but the fundamentals that you have stuck to has led to so many successful ventures. So that brings me to a selfish question, not only for me but for the audience. What is this key mantra that you have been following for setting up so many successful ventures?
Yeah, I think persistence is one.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Persistence and passion.
Right.
So it brings me a lot of satisfaction
Uh-huh.
when you start on a venture, and especially like I mentioned the last sugar one, where we had not grown sugar on a large scale basis before,
Uh-huh.
but we have the processing ability.
Right.
So on this kind of venture, if there's passion and your will to persist,
Mhm.
uh, then that is what is bringing successes. We may not have full successes for now on that score,
Okay.
but I'm sure within the we I feel that we are on the right track, and within a couple of years we are going to see some good things happening on the ground. And then that brings in the third component, which is about confidence.
Right.
So
Right.
if you have a little bit of confidence in yourself and believe that you can bring the talents and the skill together to really execute, and you're on the right track, then you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that feed itself onto the confidence further.
Sure, sure. That definitely is definitely inspiring. So passion and persistence, as you said it, I have taken a note, a mental note of that. And that brings me to the last part of this feature, where you mentioned that TeamFaber has already been engaged and working on several projects with several of your group companies. So, anything that you would want to talk about in terms of numbers or the operational efficiencies, what Faber or TeamFaber has brought in to all different operations, along with you working along with your team?
Yeah. So in term, okay. I mean, I'm not going to pull out the specifics. I don't have the specific numbers with me
Okay.
as to what benefits that we have seen,
Okay.
but definitely the qualitative side of the way we are dealing with Mansa. We have seen a lot of improvements, a lot of the recent initiatives that we have taken, where we are on the agriculture, where we are actually pushing for those tasks and tags to be drawn up with tasks that have been done, not done. It is helping quite a lot with all the farm managers to keep abreast of what needs to be done.
Sure.
And we have broken those tasks into two different groups, where we are saying what tasks need to be done with respect to manpower, machinery, materials.
Right.
And the other side is the other team is responsible for looking at the quality and timing
Okay.
of those operations and how they are done. And
Sure.
bifurcating in it that way, I think we are going to see some very good results on the ground. Um, and obviously the initiatives that we have taken with Faber are going to show up in a few months down the line.
Definitely. Thank you so much for those kind words. So, thank you so much for this wonderful chat that we had today morning. And I know it was a quick one, but having said that, you're pressed on time. Thank you so much for sparing this time for our audiences today. And I'm sure we'll definitely draw a couple of leaves of this particular discussion that will inspire many more entrepreneurs who would want to start several such ventures in the future. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahul Shah. And
Thank
thank
you.
you so
My
much.
pleasure.
Thank you so much to all my audiences here today. Till the next time, where we connect with another industry leader, where we'll be talking about another journey of operational excellence. Thank you so much, everyone. We look forward to be in touch. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Right, sir. Thank you so much.